Yeah, it was a really busy day here in Tokyo yesterday, busier even than today. You said 17 gold medal events today, 22 yesterday, and it was a great day for China. They pulled clear in terms of the gold medals table, 32 in total now. They're 8 ahead of the team in second, that's the USA. 69 medals overall when you include golds, silver and bronzes. Yesterday, really all the focus was on the Ariake Gymnastics Centre, a short distance away from where I'm standing in the centre of Tokyo. Simone Biles returning to action for Team USA in the balance beam finals. We didn't think we were going to see her in action again here at these games after she pulled out of the team events earlier on last week, saying she wanted to focus on her mental health, but she was back in action, deciding that she was in the right headspace, I suppose you'd say, to be able to compete, and she managed to win a bronze medal. It was a great performance from her. She looked really happy. She was waving to the cameras, speaking almost through the cameras to the watching millions around the world, enjoying her performance in the event, finishing third. She spoke afterwards too in the interview. She said she was proud of herself. She said, just to go out there after what I've been through, I didn't expect a medal today. I just wanted to go out there for me, and that's what I did. So great to see her back in action. It was a brilliant performance as well for the lady who won gold. It was Guan Chenchen from China, just 16 years of age, and she has got such a bright future in the sport. What also caught the eye yesterday actually occurred in this Japan National Stadium behind me. Many people saying it was the greatest race of all time in the Olympics in the 400 meters hurdle, the men's event. Karsten Warholm of Norway smashing the world record by over half a second, 45.94 seconds he ran. It was a simply breathtaking performance. He ripped his shirt afterwards in celebration when he saw the time that he'd just run. It was so fast that when you consider the man who finished second, the American Rai Benjamin, he also broke pretty comfortably the previous world record. We've been told throughout the week here in Japan that this is a very, very fast track, and it's proving to be so as it continues. Into today, what to watch out for? Well, we've already had some good performances by Chinese athletes in the women's table tennis, the team event. China beating Germany in the semi-finals 3-0, so they're through to the final where they will face the hosts Japan. China, of course, so dominant in table tennis in recent years. The men's team are also in the semi-finals, led by Ma Long, and they are competing a little bit later on today, hoping to make the final two. So that could be gold medals both in the men's and the ladies for table tennis. So it's been a really, really busy couple of days here in the Japanese capital.
Right, looking forward to all that. Well, of course, would you please give us an update on the COVID situation there? And also, Adam, with hardly any spectators, how are the empty stadiums affecting athletes' performance?
Well, it's interesting. A couple of days ago, the COVID situation really had started to bubble under the surface. It wasn't what was being focused on really at the Games. People were more focusing on the sports and the great achievements, the world records that were being broken. But then we had some really high numbers start to come in. A couple of days ago, they were up to over 4,000 cases, new cases per day here in Tokyo, which was the highest number they'd ever seen since records began right at the start of the pandemic. And that got everyone worried. The state of emergency was then expanded to include a wider area around Tokyo. So 3 of the prefectures that originally weren't included in the state of emergency then became included as the hospitals around here started to fill up and get towards capacity as well. I think local health officials were really, really worried. Those numbers, they haven't dipped down too much, but they're still within, you know, between 2,000 and 3,000 new cases per day. So they're still very high, but not quite up to the numbers that we were seeing a few days previously to that. The numbers within the Olympic Village and the athletes here at the Games are still quite low. To give you the latest number, 18 new cases in the last 24-hour period. Only one of those was an athlete inside the village, but also it had a knock-on effect. It was a member of the Greek artistic swimming team, and because of the contact cases there, that meant that the entire team had to pull out of today's event and move to a local hotel for self-isolation. So COVID's still impacting the Games. The other I suppose subject that's impacted by both COVID and the Games in general is the spectators, because here in Tokyo, because of the state of emergency, there are no spectators allowed in the stadium behind me. All of the other arenas around the city because of that state of emergency. So the only people inside, the athletes, the coaches, the officials, and then a few media like ourselves. But other than that, no spectators inside the stadiums. But there are a few venues, the ones outside the city of Tokyo, where they are having spectators. Some of the football venues, for example, that we saw last week, and also the Velodrome in Izu City, which is a couple of hours away from Tokyo, that we've seen the track cycling start to take centre stage over the last couple of days. They've had a limited number of spectators inside the stadiums, and we've seen how that's really impacted those events and made for a slightly better atmosphere. So frustration for the residents here in Tokyo that they're so close to the games but they can't see it firsthand, but delight as well, I suppose, for a worldwide audience that they can at least watch some events like the cycling where they do have at least a few spectators present.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Adam Hunt, reporting from Tokyo.